Pueblo, and our route takes us through the mountains. This is an untested car that just recently hit the street. It's got maybe 387 miles.
This Isa guy's new to me 2007 LBZ Duramax truck, nicknamed Blackjack. The insane life of Derek Bieri is changing in ways no one expected. The secrets hidden inside his Tennessee garage and his suspicious decision to leave television are stirring up the vintage car community. Millions of followers are asking themselves, what is really happening with this man? Is there something he's hiding behind that calm smile? Get ready, because in this video you will hear every truth that has never been revealed. We have uneven wear here and on the middle of the shoe. And that's the crazy shape we had going on with that puppy right there. Going to assume that the cam bearings in this are just perfect, and they probably are. And that will save us a tremendous amount. Derek Bieri was born in 1984 in Minot, North Dakota. The small town sits in the middle of cold farmland where winter can last more than half the year. In that environment, he grew up surrounded by the sound of tractor engines and the smell of oil that filled the family's daily life. As a teenager, Derek was used to waking up early to check the engine before going to school. Every morning, he inspected the spark plugs, adjusted the carburetor, and replaced ignition wires if the machine had trouble starting. The freezing cold meant that even the smallest mistake could stop an entire day's work. So, every action had to be precise and quick. Derek Bieri once said that taking apart and rebuilding engines became a natural joy. He memorized every sound an engine could make, recognizing problems just from a sputter. While other boys his age were playing sports, Derek stayed in the small garage taking notes on how his father repaired fuel pumps or cleaned carburetors. The Bieri family reused everything until it could no longer be fixed. He grew up with the habit of making do, patching things together, and learning that value came not from something new, but from keeping it running. His father's rule was, if it still works, fix it. Don't throw it away. That became the foundation for his later philosophy of saving abandoned cars. In the early 2000s, when he was in his early 20s, Derek began buying old cars from around the area. According to him, restoring them was both a way to learn and to earn some extra income. He still remembers his first sedan, an engine dead, rust-covered car abandoned in a field for years. After 2 weeks off working on it by himself, he brought it back to life. Derek said there's no feeling like reviving something everyone else thought was junk. From then on, buying, repairing, and selling cars became routine. Old family records show that since 2005, Derek Bieri and his relatives have restored more than 1,000 cars. That number reflects an unbroken passion, but also the way he built his practical skills without any formal training. Alongside car restoration, Derek once tried moving into business management. He worked in the transportation and logistics industry where everything followed schedules and deadlines. At a classic car event, he admitted, "I was sitting in the office, but my mind was only on the cars waiting out there." That moment made him realize passion could not be replaced. A stable job brought income but took away the joy he once had on the farm. Derek left the office and returned to his familiar tools. The decision was not easy, but he believed that only in the garage could he truly feel the meaning of time. In 2008, Derek Bieri married Jessica Bieri. Their marriage became a vital foundation for the journey ahead. Jessica was not only his life partner, but also the person who organized all future operations of Vice Grip Garage. While Derek focused on restoring cars, Jessica managed filming schedules, orders, and bookkeeping. Everything gradually took shape as a family-run business. Derek once said, "Without Jessica, I'd just be a garage guy surrounded by unfinished cars." Their teamwork laid the groundwork for the next big step. From the frozen fields where it all began, Derek carried the skills learned from his grandfather into a new era. This time he was no longer standing in the small family garage, but facing the digital world, and that was where Vice Grip Garage was born. The birth of Vice Grip Garage. The Vice Grip Garage channel first appeared in the platform at the end of 2007. At that time, Derek Bieri saw it only as a place to store a few short clips of his car restoration projects at home. The videos were blurry, shot with an old camera, barely edited, and then left forgotten for nearly a decade. During that period, Derek was still working full-time in business and had no thought of becoming a content creator. He viewed YouTube as a kind of storage drive, a place to keep records of his hobby projects and share them with friends who shared the same passion. Only later did understand the power of the platform's reach. By 2018, Derek Bieri returned to the channel with a clearer vision. He began uploading videos regularly, developing a consistent format, finding abandoned cars, trying to start them on site, fixing the basic issues, and then driving them hundreds of kilometers back to his garage. His storytelling was simple, self-filmed, without complex background music, surprisingly effective. Derek described his philosophy as saving the forgotten. He chose neglected cars rather than rare ones. In the early videos, viewers saw him struggling with seized engines, rotten fuel lines, or rusted brakes. That persistence made his content feel more like a survival documentary than a technical performance. One of the first clips to reach millions of views showed Derek reviving a 1970s American car buried in a barn for over 20 years. He drove it home using the original engine, accepting all risks along the way. The raw footage, calm narration and successful ending drew hundreds of thousands of followers. Derek Bieri once spent months on a Chevy Monza, a forgotten sports model. The car lacked many parts, had decayed wiring and tires as hard as wood. He patiently restored it, documenting the entire process with a fixed camera, almost without any cuts. That simplicity made viewers trust him and want to see more. By late 2019, Vice Grip Garage began to grow rapidly. The barn rescue videos attracted both classic car enthusiasts and people who knew little about mechanics. Articles in automotive circles called Derek the mechanic storyteller, a rare figure in the digital age. Derek Bieri realized his passion could become a full-time career. When viewership reached millions, advertising revenue and merchandise sales became stable. He left the office environment and chose to dedicate all his time to garage. During a fan event, Derek said, "I chose the garage over the office because that's where I belong." That decision marked a major turning point. He was no longer just a mechanic, but also a creator, producer, and storyteller. Even with a packed schedule, Derek continued filming with a single camera, natural lighting, and no film crew that kept the authenticity his audience loved. From mid-2020, Jessica Bieri began appearing more frequently behind the scenes. According to the brand's official page, Jessica handled operations, scheduling, order management, and partner communication. Derek focused on producing content while Jessica managed organization and commerce, creating a more stable structure. Viewers gradually realized Vice Grip Garage was not just a personal channel, but a small family business. They sold shirts, hats, and memorabilia with the VGG logo, hosted fan meetups, and expanded partnerships within the auto parts industry. The connection between real life and content became a key part of their appeal. As millions of views poured in, Derek understood that the Minnesota garage could no longer contain it all. Everything seemed ready for a new phase in his career. In 2022, Derek Bieri made a surprising appearance on television with the show Roadworthy Rescues, produced by Motor Trend. The series built upon the style of Vice Grip Garage. Derek served as the main host, traveling across America to find old cars, restore them, and get them running again on the road. The show retained the familiar saving forgotten cars spirit, but received professional investment in visuals and runtime. According to the production team, Derek was chosen for his authenticity, clear explanations, and natural storytelling style. The same qualities that made him famous on YouTube now became his strengths on television. The success of Roadworthy Rescues introduced Derek to a wider audience. People who had never used YouTube started recognizing him through cable TV. Classic car communities began talking about the mechanic from the internet, a new figure for the digital era, skilled in both craft and storytelling. At the same time, Derek continued uploading regularly to Vice Grip Garage. The packed schedule began to exhaust him. In an interview, he admitted that working on both platforms was more tiring than fixing a broken car on the highway. He had to travel constantly between states, manage post-production, and oversee every detail to stay on track. The pressure from both sides forced him to reorganize his work. Family members were assigned clearer roles. When the first season of Roadworthy Rescues ended, several cars featured in the show were auctioned off. According to a source in the car community, Derek bought back many off them to continue their stories on YouTube. He wanted to finish what was left unfinished and bring those cars back to the viewers who had followed from the beginning. Television fame made Derek Bieri a familiar face. But behind that success were pressures invisible to the audience. Fame, finances, and time began to tighten around the man who once only wanted to fix cars. The next story reveals the price of being watched by millions. Behind the glory, Derek Bieri and Jessica married in 2008 and have 3 sons and 1 daughter. The family lives together in Tennessee, where their home also serves as the headquarters of Vice Grip Garage. In many videos, viewers see Jessica appear briefly helping her husband or checking on the progress of ongoing projects. In an interview, Derek said, "I can do what I do today because my family allows him to do it." That statement clearly reflects how he views success. For Derek, the trust and support of his wife and children are what keep the garage running more reliably than any business contract could. Financial stability gives Derek creative freedom. He can choose projects based on passion rather than trends. Each car is selected not for its collectible value, but for the history behind it. This independence allows him to maintain his personal style, something many creators struggle to preserve over time. Alongside success, Derek and Jessica have remained committed to keeping their private life out of the spotlight. They avoid showing their children on video, only allowing brief appearances on rare occasions. During an online Q&A, Jessica shared that the family wants their kids to have a normal childhood separate from their parents' work. This boundary makes Vice Grip Garage stand out among similar channels. Viewers see only the work, not the private life. It builds respect while letting Derek focus on his craft without needing to expose emotions for views. Still, their discretion often fuels curiosity. Whenever Derek disappears for a few weeks, social media fills with speculation. But he always returns with the same calm voice and trademark checkered bandana, continuing to bring old machines back to life as if never left. Derek Bieri's success comes with invisible pressure. Once the channel passed millions of subscribers, every change from relocating states to brand collaborations was scrutinized closely. Each decision, no matter how small, drew thousands of comments, both supportive and critical. Derek is well aware of this. He once said, "I build cars the way I believe in, and I hope the audience feels that." The statement reveals a clear principle. Focus on genuine value, not public expectation. He works for the joy of mechanical discovery, not to satisfy algorithms. Media pressure forces Derek to balance between commercial success and personal identity. He chooses partnerships that fit his values, prioritizes practical products, and avoids excessive promotion. This approach helps Vice Grip Garage maintain credibility and retain long-term viewers. Jessica has become his indispensable partner, helping Derek balance work and family. She acts as the bridge to the audience while keeping the entire operation running smoothly. The image of a family-run garage has gradually become the signature of their brand. After nearly 2 decades, Derek is no longer just a mechanic or a YouTuber. He is an example of independent, sustainable content creation. He has built his brand on authenticity without scandals or showmanship. His success comes from staying true to his core values, fixing cars, telling stories, and protecting his family. When everything seems stable, Derek once again stands at a crossroads. The channel is thriving, the brand is expanding, but the real question remains, how far will this crazy journey go? The next chapter opens a picture of his present and the plans taking shape for the future. Irreplaceable milestones. After nearly 2 decades devoted to old cars, Derek Bieri has become one of the most talked about names in the independent mechanics community. According to platform statistics, Vice Grip Garage now has over 2 million subscribers and hundreds of millions of views, an exceptional figure in the classic car niche. The channel's content has retained its distinctive style, reviving vehicles that have been sitting for years in barns, fields, or scrapyards. Derek Bieri sees each car as a story from the past, waiting to bet old, and viewers follow not only the restoration process, but also his own journey, that of a man who believes everything can run again. When the television show ended, Derek decided to focus once more on YouTube. For him, it was a space of freedom. No rigid scripts or time limits. His one-camera filming, natural lighting, and calm pacing keep his content authentic, even as social media evolves rapidly. In many conversations with fans, Derek emphasized that what he loves most is bringing something that seems dead back to life. He doesn't chase viral trends or short-form content, but remains faithful to a simple, steady storytelling rhythm, a choice that has earned him a rare, loyal audience. This approach has made Vice Grip Garage a valuable reference for classic car enthusiasts. Viewers don't just watch for entertainment, they also learn how to restore their own vehicles. Derek once said at a fan event, "I just want to keep saving cars that still have untold stories." Longtime followers believe this is the true reason behind the channel's endurance. While many creators shift formats to chase views, Derek remains faithful to his original model, treating consistency as the key to quality. His persistence has made him a role model in the technical creator community. Since 2024, Derek Bieri has started experimenting with new forms of expansion. Some videos have become longer, delving deeper into technical processes and featuring more interaction with fans. He is also planning small workshops where viewers can join him in person to learn classic car restoration. According to discussions within the car community, Derek has the potential to build a membership model, allowing subscribers to preview upcoming projects, download guides, or receive discounts on parts. With a dedicated audience and a trusted reputation, this is a logical and sustainable next step. The Vice Grip Garage brand now extends far beyond digital content. Derek and Jessica are expanding into accessories, tools, and apparel designed for garage enthusiasts. They also collaborate with auto parts manufacturers to launch a product line under the VGG name. From a small family garage, Derek has gradually built a self-contained ecosystem where everything revolves around classic cars and the spirit of restoration. He continues to uphold his principle of doing it yourself to understand, inspiring thousands to repair, learn Andrely less on commercial services. Derek Bieri represents not only individual passion but also a lifestyle built on doing, learning and taking responsibility. His success proves that genuine value still has a place in the age of instant entertainment. The road ahead is full of possibilities. Even as technology and platforms evolve, one thing remains unchanged. Derek Bieri still carries the spirit of that boy from North Dakota, the one who believes that every car, no matter how old, deserves to be brought back to life and to run its own road again. If you enjoyed Derek Bieri's crazy car rescue journey, hit like and subscribe to keep following Vice Grip Garage. Every share, comment, and subscription from you is the motivation that keeps Derek restoring the cars the world has long forgotten. All.